Hey everyone, Major Frenchy. I'm super happy to see you. I've decided to record today in my workshop. And a little bit of news, sad news, but not so sad. This is going to be the last show for the virtual pinball show. I know. I had plans where I really wanted to have a full show featuring like new content, guests, original content, and more. But being a one-man show, I think I took a little more on my plate than I was able to handle. Those of you who actually have experience with video creation, video production, interviews, editing, post-production, managing a website, know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a hobby, after all. I have a family, a life, a job, and responsibilities outside this hobby. But it's not a goodbye. But I want to focus on new stuff, okay? Not the old stuff that I've done over and over and over again. I mean, it's out there, the information is there, but I want to kind of focus on the new trend, the new stuff. For example, the VR, the VPX standalone, the Anaglyph 3D, building tips, like custom lock bar and stuff for the cabinet. This is really what I want to focus on, and I want to kind of leave behind all the different, how to install VPX, which is very basic, and now more people are stepping up and making good videos about it. So on today's show, I'm going to have an interview with PinstratDan. Today we're meeting PinstratDan. He's well known in the virtual pinball community as he became an excellent player and raffled over 10 wins in the weekly virtual pinball competition. Daniel is also a conservation biologist in South Africa. Daniel started sharing table gameplay tutorials on his YouTube channel. Also became an asset to the VPin workshop team by becoming a table tester. Till this day, PinstratDan beta tested about 26 tables and still counting. Daniel, welcome to the Virtual Pinball Show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. So yeah, hi everybody.
It's nice to put a face to the name. What got you into virtual pinball?
I think my story is quite a bit different, I guess, than most people that love pinball. And that is, I grew up I'm in South Africa, and I basically grew up just playing computer games and not having any access to pinball. I have a vague memory of seeing Terminator 2 table early in the 90s somewhere. In one of the big cities, but I've always lived in small towns. So anyway, no access to real pinball. In the 90s, I played a few games like Pinball Fantasies and Pinball Dreams and a bit of Pro Pinball and all that. But I actually didn't understand pinball at all. I just kind of flapped around a bit. That's about it. And then I got an Xbox at some point. Played a little bit here and there, and then basically with Pinball FX2, and that's what's that, about 2009 or so. So I played Pinball FX2 for about 2 years, and let's just say it kind of got a bit obsessive. And the reason why it kind of got a bit obsessive is that the games lasted so long. And my longest game was basically Paranormal, and I didn't do it in one session, but the game lasted for 16 hours. So
wow.
then in about 2018, that's when Pinball FX2, or was it 3, came out with the Williams tables. And that kind of fitted me nicely because the games are much, much harsher on the Williams Classic Arcade physics and much more brutal. And so then I could have competitive games, but in a much shorter time frame. It took me a long time to get good at the real tables, just because the gameplay is so fast, and I know physics isn't as spot on as, say, what we now have with VPX and fuzzy physics and so forth, but you still had to kind of learn how to control the ball better and all that. Got a old computer from a friend of mine that could barely, like a old laptop that could barely play games, but I managed to install VPX on it. But about the time that the VPW group and Infozzy and all that started coming together. So the first tables I played was like Spider-Man Vault Edition and Tales from the Crypt, and I was literally blown away. I was just like, this is amazing. In a very short amount of time, I kind of left Pinball FX behind me, and I'm a bit of a physics snob, I guess, but at this stage. I only enjoy, and the reason why I'm a physics snob within Fuzz and all that's just because I really enjoy the tactile feel that you get and the control that you can exert by using flipper tricks and all that.
You mentioned earlier that you became a physics snob, although it became really, really good, especially with the NFOSI and all the new techniques that VPW are applying. Do you really believe that physics can make or break a game?
Yes and no. So basically, the no part is that when I played Pinball FX and all that, I actually played it as a game, and I really enjoyed it, and so forth. For me, it was all about I wanted as realistic as possible. I wanted as close as possible to the real thing. And luckily for me, the VPW group is that's what they're all about. You know, to kind of recreate tables as close as possible as they can.
So you've actually been testing a lot of tables for the VPW team. When you're testing a table that's, let's say, pre-release, do you have a different approach than if you actually doing a regular casual game?
Maybe I'll just kind of give you a bit of background how I got involved with VPW and their collaborators for testing. I basically just recorded all my gameplay. Even though I don't do so many VPX tutorials, I've only done one so far. Then when I notice something, a bug or something, I just kind of use a little program called Lossless Cut, and I just clip it out and I kind of share it with the table developers. So I did that in the virtual Pinball Chat Discord, and then Apophis approached me and he kind of said, "Hey, want to come to VPW and do the same kind of thing there?" And to be honest, I didn't know much about what was expected or what I was going to do or so. I just soon realized, wow, it was amazing just to kind of see these guys at work, see what they do, and kind of get involved. Yeah. So then I just start playing it, and my initial kind of testing that I do is just to kind of look at the flow of the table, see if all the shots work as they or as you would like them to work. Say if you should be able to backhand a ramp or not, and if you should be like kind of be able to backhand and give feedback on the shots and kind of say, yeesh, this out lane is ridiculously hard. And nobody's going to get anywhere on this table. All those kind of things, things that you don't normally think of. Can often just kind of break the scoring completely. And with Blood Machines especially, there were a lot of things like that. So I probably played that table once, well, at least once a day for a year, if not more. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it, but I could also see that doing originals is hard work, man. Jeez, the guys really spend a lot of time getting the code right.
So you actually decided to start your own Discord channel, and basically you're focusing on virtual pinball strategies and gameplay. What do you mostly cover on your Discord?
Initially, the idea with the Discord was just to kind of have a better place for sorting everything out and having it in one place. I share all my videos there if I do a video for a table or so. But most of my Discord chatting, I would say, is on the virtual pinball chat and the VPW group. But yeah, anybody is welcome to come and join my Discord, even if it's just to kind of brainstorm.
You also have your YouTube channel where you actually got quite a few videos, and they're good. Like if someone wants to get a good feel on how to beat a table, you've got quite a few videos showing that.
Yes, yeah, no, I've, some games I have on there, I'm actually really kind of proud of for putting them together. For instance, now this last Die Hard one, man, geez, that was blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. So I'm really proud of that. And yeah, so if you go through the gameplay and you watch it, you'll definitely get a good idea, because that game, I can say I played it according to my strategy. I had a strategy in mind, and I kind of pulled it off quite well. And the score also, it exploded. I was surprised when I saw the score in the end. My best score up until that point was about 300 million, and I ended on a 2 billion for that. So it was huge.
Now, you obviously have a lot of experience playing these tables. You've mastered a lot of skills and techniques over the years, and you're sharing those techniques. If someone brand new to virtual pinball, what do you believe are the two basic skills or techniques that someone should master in order to be a good player?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. The first one is that you have to learn to control the ball. And the easiest way to do that is to learn a dead bounce. Just when the ball comes down, or a dead flip. And when the ball comes down, not to just always flip, to kind of learn as best you can to get the ball, let it bounce over from the one flipper to the next, and then cradle it and get the ball to stop still. The first tip I would give someone, a new player, yeah, pinball, real pinball as well, is to learn how to control the ball with a dead flip, the most important, and then cradling. Make sure that you kind of get to the point where you actually hold the ball. It takes some mental power, I guess, to kind of get yourself to not just want to keep the ball on the move.
Yeah.
For instance, on Die Hard, you have the mission scoop. Man, that thing just likes to reject balls. And if you don't have good flipper control, you are going to lose the ball. You have to know how to drop catch, and you have to know to kind of do little flicks to kind of bring the ball under control. One thing that many people don't know about in fuzzy flipper physics is if the ball slowly roll up the right flipper, if you tap the left flipper, it basically imitates the solenoids. So basically it makes the table kind of vibrate, and then that settles the ball on the other flipper. So you'll see if I play, I always tap the opposite flipper many times in a row when the ball kind of rolls up. And that often prevents the ball from rolling off the tip of the flipper. The second skill is that keep your eye on the ball at all times. As we kind of talked about pup packs and displays and all those kind of things, they distract you. And our eyes just want to kind of go all over the place rather than just stay on the ball. So if you, say, have the ball on the cradle and you want to shoot a ramp or whatever, keep your eye on the ball until after it leaves the flipper. Our tendency is to want to kind of look at the score, and then it's kind of
always
ironic because that's not going to help you to get to finish it quicker.
You showed on your YouTube channel a video where you can defeat Galdor in Blood Machines. How many hours did you put in order to beat that game?
Sure, I don't know exactly, but it would be hundreds. I'm pretty sure, because as I mentioned earlier, I started playing it about a year, I guess, or so before it released. You couldn't kind of give good feedback on if I haven't figured out how to beat him. So at this stage, I basically played the table on instinct. I think I would even manage to do something if you blindfold me, just because I've kind of played it so much that I kind of have a good feel for it. If I play it now, within a couple of games, I would put a good game together. So it's just so instinctive by now. Yeah, which is great. And I can imagine if you like a top player of real pinball, you'll eventually also get to that stage where you just kind of instinctively read a table and almost are 2 or 3 steps ahead.
For a new virtual pinball player, when playing a table, what are the basic tricks you can give to get better at the table?
I would say the first thing that I do when I start playing a table is actually just to try out all the shots. I literally go from left to right. I actually did a live, what will you call it, demonstration of it on Dr. Dude at some point. And it's a bit long because it was live streamed, but you'll get the idea. Where I just literally go through the table from left to right. I try all the shots and see if it's possible or not, and then figure out what would be my best options. So also combos, figure out how you're going to do your combos. Some tables like Attack from Mars, you have to do a 5-shot combo. So the sooner you kind of figure out how to do that, the better. So just test your shots out before you even know anything about the table or even try to get anywhere. The second thing is, if you lose the ball, don't just swear at the table and kind of like mumble about it and then just shoot the next ball. Actually take a moment to think, what just happened? Why did I lose the ball? Because I forced myself to wait up until the last moment before I actually flip. But that takes a lot of mental strength and concentration to kind of get to the point where you can do that. But first, you must know about it, and then that's
Right.
that's what happens when you kind of concentrate on why did you actually lose the ball. The only way you're actually going to beat a table, if you really want to beat a table, is to put the time into it.
Well, you certainly talked about a lot of tips and different techniques. And where can people find more and learn more about different techniques that you're teaching?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to chat with you and kind of show myself. You can find me in various places, but my own Discord channel, the PinstratDan one, you can get a link for that through my YouTube channel. And, my own Discord, I'm active there, but I'm actually more active on the virtual pinball chat Discord. That's where most people chat and so forth. And then also on the various Facebook groups. But yeah, now I don't think I'm hard to find if somebody's looking for me. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. I was glad to be able to speak to you, finally putting a face to the name. And we'll chat later. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I want to talk about different places to get your different needs for virtual pinball. What kind of sites, what kind of platform you should actually go to in order to get your content. When it comes time to looking for your virtual pinball stuff, the software, it can get complicated. You don't know where to get the software, pin up popper, the tables, and the sound, and so much. So today I'm sharing little techniques on where to get your stuff, and I'm going to keep that brief, but I'm going to give you all the tools so you can find it on your own. I would start with my website. I got a lot of resource here. I've actually spent a lot of time organizing stuff. In the software section, if you go to the external links, here is going to be some help for you to where to get the stuff. I got a few Facebook groups here. I'm not going to go on each one of them, but for example, this is VP Nation. A lot of good resource here. You can find tips, you can post questions, post videos, and discuss, virtual pinball. This is private group. You ask to be invited, and you should get granted the request. Virtual Pinball Addicts as well, Virtual Pinball Junkies. Pinup Popper has its own Facebook group where David spends a lot of time helping folks out. So this is also something for you. The SSF, which is the Surround Sound Feedback, they have their own Facebook group. And finally, the Discord Virtual Pinball Chat. This is the Discord I created a few years ago. It's a good place to find, for example, these are all the table releases in the table section here. You can find the different topics. The general chat, you can chat and ask question. That's where a lot of people are hanging out. For your tables and all the content and where to get the different things for the table, that would be my go-to site to start. This is the virtual pinball spreadsheet. For example, you click on the table and it will give you a description of where the table is and then a link where you can go and download everything you need. This site is great because it will have links for the backlash, the ROM, the pop packs, the collar, the sound, and everything relating to this table. So that's really your go-to places. VP Forums, where again, this is like a general site where you're going to find question answers, and also tables are being hosted on this website. You're going to need a free account. VP Universe, this is another very popular website as well, where you're going to download all your stuff, and it's a good place to learn and chat and discuss virtual pinball. And finally, Pinball Nirvana, another alternative where a lot of the future pinball stuff is happening. If you want to get more about future pinball and get the tables, this is the official site now where you can do all this. But they also have VPX and older, very interesting tables. I definitely recommend you visiting Pinball Nirvana. So really, there's a lot out there possible, but just having a few key places, like for example, if you go to majorfrenchy.com, virtual pinball spreadsheet, VP forums, and VP universe, you will actually have all the links for other websites and other resources that you might need. Hope it helps. Thank you. Happy pinball. I'm going to share a tip with you where I had a major disaster on my cab. I had a blue screen of death. There's still such thing in Windows 10. So this is the image I saw on my computer one day. Well, kind of anyway. And I tried to restore. I tried to roll back the updates. I tried everything in my power. And I was unable to reboot the system at all. So my last resort, let's start from my backup and install from scratch. So I downloaded a version of Windows on a USB key, installed it on my system, and it took, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, and I basically had a brand new fresh install of Windows and installed the NVIDIA drivers, and I was set. Now on the left, you're going to see that is my backup, and on a separate drive. On the right, it's my new version of Windows. And I'm copying the vPinball folder, the entire folder structure, and I'm copying it over to Windows. It'll take a little bit, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I'm going to close my backup. Now this is my main drive, and let's see if I've got kind of everything I need in here. I've got in the Visual Pinball folder the different versions of VPX. And let's see if I have my tables. Yep, everything seems to be here. So I'm going to try to launch. Oh, got an error here. And we're going to have to install some drivers. The first thing you will really want to do when you install a new system is to check for the Windows updates. That sometimes will take care of a lot of issues. So I'm going to update my Windows. Another thing you'll need to do is in your security settings, turn off your antivirus because that will prevent some of your software from running. And a couple of things you'll need probably to do is to re-register your software because, like the COM objects, because it's a new system. So we'll do it for Pinup Popper, and you can also do it for DOF and your B2S because this is kind of, a new install, so you need to do this. Now for DOF, you will want to update your COM port of your cabinet file. So in order to do this is you're just going to open up your old cabinet file, and you're going to see at your COM port, I had COM port number 6 on the old version. So I'm going to open the control panel, and I'm going to go in the device manager. And then we're going to look at the ports, the COM ports, and then here I can see that I've got COM port 3. So I'm going to update my cabinet file and change it to COM 3. There we go. And I'm going to save this. Now this was the x86, but because I have x64 as well, I'm going to go back, and I have a folder for direct output 64, and I'm going to paste my cabinet in here as well. Make sure you do this. And because this is a new install of Windows, we're going to need to install the DirectX drivers and also the .NET framework in order for everything to work properly here. And I'm going to look at my display, make sure they are lined up and that my scale is at 100%, and I am good that way. All right, let's launch VPX and cross our fingers. Yes, it's working. Perfect. So now I'm just going to kind of look at the different displays, making sure I've got my playfield selected properly, right? Just in case some stuff has changed. And everything else kind of looks good the way it was. And I'm going to launch Pinup Popper, and this is just a view of the back glass here. And yep, seems like everything is working. That's amazing.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet.
Oh yeah.
But something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
I'm going to show you Johnny Wick, which is an amazing table from the R-Dog 81 and an amazing pup pack from Team Tugga.
Nice ride.
Thanks.
How much?
Excuse me?
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Do you fear domination, John?
Yes.
That was a pretty good fight, huh?
Yeah. Well, you have shaken the faith of David, my friend, but you shouldn't be here. This will not be pleasant. I hope.
Folks, I wanna thank you for spending your time following what I do. I really appreciate it. And your comments, they really actually make a difference, especially the good comments and the thank you. This is my paycheck, so I really want to thank you for that. But in the next videos, like I said, this is not goodbye. I'm going to make videos, but I want to make them, I want to take my time. I want to make them actually better quality, right? I welcome everyone that has coding experience and want to start contributing to this amazing hobby by introducing themselves on anywhere really where you actually hang out on virtual pinball, but just start saying hello and just state your intention that you want to get involved, and folks will point you in the right direction. If you have any comments, you can reach me. I'm on the VPC chat, or just send a comment to majorfrenchy.com/feedback. So I will get back to you for sure. I'm working on a few things right now, but one thing that's going to come very shortly is a full pup pack guide. Until then, thank you for being here.